Get active in the comment section, Saints fans. Do you think that Drew Brees is a top 10 quarterback of all time? Just give me a simple Y for yes or N for no. We're talking about Nick Wright, who disrespected Drew Brees and didn't even include him in his top 10 rankings of all time. So I'm going to go ahead and prove why Nick Wright is wrong today, but I want you to get active in the comment section. And while you're down there, you have to scroll past it anyway. Just hit that big red sub button so you can get some hot takes around your New Orleans Saints. Plus, we got daily coverage all year round. We do watch parties that are live during the regular season, and then throughout the offseason, we're going to have live draft coverage, live free agency coverage, and then VODs and videos and on-demand stuff like you see down below on demand, ready for you every single day of the year. So lock us in, subscribe today, and without further ado, let's talk about Nick Wright and how wrong that man is. Nick Wright doesn't know ball. So welcome into today's show. Let's react to yet another terrible take by Nick Wright of First Things First. So I just had to talk about this. I saw this on social media and I couldn't let it go. I had to give my take on this. I put a short out yesterday on the channel, and if you didn't see it, I encourage you to go check it out. It's blowing up a little bit, over 5,000 views, which is pretty sick. But here is Nick Wright's top 10 quarterbacks. He has Tom Brady, number one, hard to argue there. Then he's got Patrick Mahomes and Peyton Manning, then Joe Montana, Dan Marino, John Elway, then Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, Roger Staubach, and Steve Young. And somewhere in there, number 9 is not being represented, which is, I think, ridiculous. I think it's absolute nonsense. I don't understand why Nick Wright is always hating on the Saints. He's notorious for bashing the team. He never gives them the credit that they deserve, and I just don't understand it. And I want to talk about why Drew Brees is a top 10 quarterback. In my opinion, I have him listed in my top 10, and I'm going to give you my top 10 of all quarterbacks here in a little bit. But before I do, I want to give a big-time shout-out to today's presenting sponsor, and it is PrizePicks. So if you go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and you plug in that promo code CLNS, you get a first deposit match up to $100. So you get to play the daily fantasy sports #1 app in all of North America. You get to play on that app. It's awesome. You play the more or less game. You just pick 2 or more players, choose more or less based on their projected stats, and then from there, you can win some money. So the projections that I'm rolling with for the Super Bowl, that big game out in Las Vegas, rolling with Patrick Mahomes, half a passing yard. Yeah, you see that. PrizePicks runs these awesome promos and these awesome deals that you have to hop on. Taco Tuesday, for example, love making money every Tuesday. But Patrick Mahomes, half a passing yard, come on, man, that's free money right there. Isaiah Pacheco, I think he's going to find the end zone at least once. And Brock Purdy, he's been slinging that rock, and I think that he can throw for more than 248.5 passing yards. So fade my picks, tail my picks. I don't care what you do. Just do it on PrizePicks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS and plug in that promo code CLNS for that first deposit match up to $100. If you weren't paying attention during that whole spiel, I have all that information in the comment section and description of this video because I love you guys. Shout out to PrizePicks. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All right, so my first issue with the Nick Wright top 10 quarterback rankings. It's an obvious slight towards the Saints. What? How could you not include Drew Brees in the top 10 conversation? It's actually an ignorant take to not include him in that top 10 discussion. Let's look at the all-time stats. We have so many things to discuss, but let's start here. The win-to-lose ratio, 172 to 114. That's over a 61% win percentage. He had over 80,000 yards, which is number 2 all-time in passing yards. That's only behind Tom Brady. Number 2 in passing touchdowns with 571. Only behind Tom Brady. In completions, he's number 2 with 7,142. Only behind Tom Brady. In the career completion percentage, 67.7, which is number 2 all time. It's actually behind Joe Burrow, which is interesting. But he's the only retired player. He's the highest completion percentage of a retired player in NFL history. And he defied all odds at just 6 foot. He was counted out. People didn't believe in Drew. He was just a kid who wasn't going to make a big name for himself. He was an injured guy. He came into New Orleans, and he lit it up. He turned this franchise around. He made this team relevant. He is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And to not even include him in the top 10 discussion is unbelievable to me. Here's just a few of the accolades he has. Let's just go down a few of them. He has 172 all-time wins. That's fourth. He has 5 seasons with 5,000 or more yards. That's first. He's actually also the first quarterback to do that multiple times in his career. He also has he's a 4-time passing touchdowns leader. 54 consecutive games with the touchdown. That's first in NFL history. The 2-time Offensive Player of the Year, 2008 and 2011. Also Super Bowl champion. Also Super Bowl MVP. Also Walter Peyton Man of the Year award winner. Also NFL Comeback Player of the Year award. Also a first-team All-Pro. Also a 4-time second-team All-Pro. Also the 7-time NFL passing yards leader. Also the 2-time NFL passer rating leader. Also the 6-time NFL completion percentage leader. Also the most touchdown passes in a game. He's tied with 8 other quarterbacks throughout NFL history with 7. So to not include him in your top 10 because you want to just blow smoke up Patrick Mahomes' ass. I get it. Mahomes gets you clicks. Mahomes gets you views. But you have to stop the slander. You can praise a guy like Patrick Mahomes, and you can give him his flowers. You can celebrate the accomplishments he's had because he has a long list and a pretty limited, or not limited, but in a short career compared to some of the all-time greats, he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But you can praise Patrick Mahomes and give him the credit he's due without disrespecting one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. And without disrespecting a team and the fan base of the New Orleans Saints. I just don't understand why Nick Wright has this vendetta out against the Saints, it seems like, but to just not include Drew Brees in the conversation of top 10 quarterbacks of all time. I'm not saying he has to be number 1, but I am saying to not include him is ignorant. But help me boo that man. If you think Nick Wright doesn't know ball, type Drew Brees' jersey number in the comment section. Give me the 9s in the chat. Let it rain down some 9s and boo that man because it's boo. Boo, Nick Wright, boo. All right, so moving forward, like I just said, you don't want to call him the GOAT? Fine. I'll give you that. Tom Brady is the GOAT. In my opinion, I'm sorry. Tom Brady is the GOAT. I joke on this channel all the time. Drew Brees is number 1. He's better than Brady, blah, 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 whatever. Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Drew Brees, it's outrageous to not include him in the top 10 conversation. He is undoubtedly one of the best quarterbacks of all time. Not just in terms of the on-field production, but for what he did for the team. He made the Saints relevant. Again, he brought that team that was so low after Hurricane Katrina back to life, and he gave the team a Super Bowl. He helped the New Orleans Saints reach the top of the mountain. And the fact that you can't even include Drew Brees in your top 10, Nick Wright, shame on you. So here's my top 10 quarterbacks of all time. And sure, you're going to see it on here. Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, some of these guys, Peyton Manning, they all played for a bunch of different teams, but I just went with who they played with the longest and who you remember him by. So Tom Brady, longtime Patriot, he's number 1 of all time. Peyton Manning, he's my number 2. Joe Montana is my number 3. Drew Brees, number 4. I think you could argue between Joe Montana and Drew Brees for me for 3 and 4, but Dan Marino at number 5, in my personal opinion, one of the best quarterbacks of all time to never win a Super Bowl. Brett Favre at number 6, John Elway number 7, and I do have Patrick Mahomes in my top 10. He's number 8. I got Aaron Rodgers in mine as well at number 9. And then at number 10, I got Roger Staubach. And here's my reason for not having Patrick Mahomes like one of the number 1 quarterbacks of all time. I don't think he has the tenured success yet. Let me make that clear. I don't think he has the long-term continued over his entire NFL career yet. A lot of these guys played 12, 15, 16, 17, 18 plus years. I mean, a lot of these guys played a long time in the NFL. Maybe not 20 plus years for some of them, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of these guys were playing at a very high level for a very long time. Patrick Mahomes is on that trajectory. He just hasn't done it for 12 years straight. Like, that's my point. He is on a very good track, but he is not the number one quarterback of all time. I still think it's Tom Brady. I think he's on the path to becoming one of the best quarterbacks of all time, but I just don't think he is there yet. What is Nick Wright's issue with the Saints? That's my final question. I just don't understand it, man. Like, whether he's dissing the situation with the cap space, whether he's dissing the situation with the team, whether he's dissing how they operate, I just don't get it. He always talks mess about the Saints, and I just don't understand what his problem is with them. Because at the end of the day, what did they ever do to him? What the hell did they ever do to him? Nick Wright, I think he just likes to stir up certain fan base, and he likes to piss some people off, but you just don't know ball, man. Drew Brees is a top 10 quarterback. I don't get it, man. So silence the noise. Help me silence the noise. If you think that the New Orleans Saints get too much disrespect, I need you to type who dat. I don't think they get nearly enough coverage. I don't think they get nearly enough love, and I don't think they get nearly enough praise for the accomplishments that some of their players over the course of their franchise's history has had. So give me a who dat in the comment section. And do not forget to subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Y'all stay golden. We'll see you next time.